assisted on the sideline by Paul Williams and Cam Stone.
Yeah.
Cody Ray, of course, who kicked 8 from 8 in last year's ITM Cup Premiership final. Clutch player, Cody Ray. And here is our ball boy for tonight, Ethan Lobb, out of St Joseph's Primary School.
Yep.
And his favourite player is Waisaki Naholo.
Talk, Ken.
As he gives the crowd a wave in slow-mo.
Yeah.
Put
Nice
that
touch.
put that in the Christmas video. A good crowd has formed throughout the evening here in Taranaki. A few hearty souls on the terraces. Both grandstands well populated. Siua Holanukanuku's haircut is outstanding. Certainly what I'd tell him to his face anyway. As we get underway, Tasman with the kickoff and taken in straight away. Taranaki launch a drive from the kickoff. Ricky Huiata time to receive. Tahuriorangi now. First box kick of the day. This one drops just over the halfway line, and a mistake from Viliami Lolohe. In fact, Kate Porky, the man who comes up with the error. Taranaki with good ball to work with early in the match as Angus Talvao does what he did so well against Canterbury and takes a hit up at first receiver. Norman now caught on the halfway line. They'll sit again. Tahuriorangi finds Talvao once more. Got through a power of work in that famous victory in Christchurch just a couple of weeks ago. Taranaki making light work of Manawatu last weekend, while Tasman battled pretty well against the Canterbury side that looks very well drilled under Scotty Robertson. Ultimately, the score blew out on them at the end of that match in Nelson. Ngatai settles things down. Grubbers. Robbie Melnick was well stationed, and the kick comes. Straight back to Charlie Ngatai. And he turns and returns fire, knowing that there is some positional adjustment to be made at the back. He'll be hoping this doesn't go much further, and it won't. Kieran Fonatia hasn't forced yet. He does now.
Bit of a collective sigh from the crowd here that the ball didn't roll over the dead ball. Charlie Ngatai, he's been one of the form players this year, hasn't he? He's been absolutely outstanding. And you can see the Taranaki, they like to use that blind side, don't they? They just keep hammering it blind side, and then when they think they've done the business there, they try and bring it open. A good start from them.
Renata with the restart. Orman collects. He's taken by Vernon Fredericks. Help from Kate Porky. Nothing fancy from the Amber and Black so far in the match as they head up again. Then it's lost. Kicked ahead by Jimmy Cowan. Cowan's a bit of a lone ranger, and he reaches in over the ball. Could well be penalised, Cowan, there, but and McBride happy to let play continue. Taranaki will have rights, and Tahuriorangi now working out an option. Bit of Greco-Roman wrestling going on in the background as well. This game's got it all, and finally the penalty comes.
Players offside. Players offside.
Yeah, they put themselves under a lot of pressure there at the breakdown, didn't they, Brendan? They're a little bit slow to clear that ball, and Tahuriorangi was under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, it was messy, wasn't it, Paul? They sort of didn't quite tidy it up as well as what I thought they'd had. They did well get numbers behind it, but unfortunately for Taranaki, they just didn't quite clean it up that well. So, chance for Renata to bang it over. He's an established goal kicker. Like you said earlier,
Thank you.
Sumo, he's kicked a lot of points for Waikato, and he's certainly a very good replacement for Marty Banks.
And how's it feeling down sideline? Wonderful crowd here for a Thursday night footy, isn't it?
Awesome. Yeah, magic. It's very, very good stadium for this, isn't it? Just everyone gets right behind it. They come in late from the pubs, and it's just awesome.
But like yourself.
Yeah, I don't mind coming in late from a pub, but I get told off a few times for doing it.
Kick stats for Trent Renata this season. 50%, of course, Marty Banks. A regular first five for Tasman. First player to 100 points again this season as Renata raises the flags, and Tasman take an early lead in the match.
Well, that's a good kick, especially for Trent. He'll be pretty keen to get that one obviously over, and he's done a very good job. That was tough. I know the angle was favourable, but even then that first one's always a hard one.
Taranaki's defence this year has been very good. They have conceded just to 140 points, but how about that run from Lolohea? Straight through 4 of them. And finally dragged down just short of the 10-metre line. All rights to the ball. And Taranaki forced the turnover. Toa Halafi'i was the man. They lost it again. Renata now finds David Havili. Christie. Robbie Melnick up from fullback, taken by Charlie Ngatai. Cowan. This time closer into the ruck as Liam Squire makes a good charge. Took 2 to bring him down. Ricky Huiata and Gustavo combining as Kate Porky gets some work off the left wing. Taranaki crowd stunned at the moment as this Marco's attack continues. Renata held the pass up for McDonald, and running out of room was Lolohea, caught 6 short. They will come again. Cowan. And Kane Ames had to turn and charge at the line, and he'll be penalised for holding on. Lachlan Bashir coming up with a defensive play.
Well, he needed to. The young open side flanker, good work from him. But Taranaki, they'll be needing to shore up their defence. 5 missed tackles already. Just as you mentioned how good the defence has been, the Red Sea opened up and they just let the Tasman players run through them. So that's an area of concern for them. But some nice attack here from Tasman. Look at this run here. He just keeps going and going. Had no right to make all those breaks on the tackle, and it was finally Halafi'i who made the defensive work count. And this is some good aggressive running, isn't it, from Tasman? They're really putting the work in there.
Viliami Lolohea, of course, a converted league player. It's part of that New Zealand Warriors under-20 program. And we've seen some touches from him this season. It showed plenty of promise as Sean Wainui, New Zealand under-20 member, sets up for a fellow teammate, Tahuri Orangi, and taken high by Jimmy Cowan was Charlie Ngatai. They play on under advantage. Great offload from Angus Taubau. There's the pass to Orman. That is how you do it, Taranaki. How about the offload from Angus Taubau under penalty advantage? Superb.
Well, Ormond, he's all grins, as understandably so. This is great stuff. They do love the blind side. And when something happens, it's Charlie Ngatai that normally gets involved. Cowan, as you say, they're under a penalty advantage because they head high. Oh, fantastic work there. Some nice work. Cody Ray, draw and pass, just 101, rugby basics, and made it look easy.
Well,
look at this.
Tarval's been outstanding, Bull, hasn't he? Like, I know he's meant to be doing his core rolls, but I tell you what, one thing that's been his outstanding at is his ball play. He's getting into space, but that offload was just sensational. He played well last year. I think he stepped it up again this year.
Well, I've counted, I think, already 4 times he's trucked the ball up.
Yeah, and he's been effective, hasn't he?
Here's the kick from Cody Ray. That's good too. 7 points for Taranaki. Angus Taubau, you needed an abacus to count his touches in that Canterbury game. How is he not playing Super Rugby for a franchise in this country next year?
It's a real pity, isn't it? It's a pity to see that talent go offshore.
Trent Renata then with the restart. Tasman with the first points of the day. Taranaki replying with the first try as Blade Thompson goes high. And we welcome you in to this ITM Cup broadcast here on Sky Sport in New Zealand. And wherever you are in the world, pleasure to have you along. The final round of ITM Cup for 2015. And while the semi-finalists have been decided, the finishing order has not. This game crucial. Suahala Nuku goes into the tackle.
Leave it, we're gold!
And Mitch Croswell thought about the turnover, had to release Renata now. They miss Robbie Melnick and find Havili. And Havili finds nothing but trouble. Charlie Ngatai has him off the ground. It was a maul. And there's the scrum.
Well, Charlie Ngatai showing the class that he is and has shown all year. Great defensive work from him, and he is certainly a captain that leads from the front. Wonderful leg drive and a wonderful turnover.
Well, Havili's good on his feet too, Bull, and he's a strong kid, but I tell you what, Ngatai's defence is probably one of the better parts of his game that we don't really talk about. We talk a lot about his ball and hand ability, but I tell you what, his defence is outstanding, and he just proved it there. And that's real captain stuff, like you said, leading from the front. And I tell you what, we've got two teams here who are coming out with a great attitude.
Clarification of the outcome. For the loser of this match, they get to play Canterbury. That is a booby prize. Canterbury are rugby machines sent from the future.
Yeah, Auckland haven't been too bad either this year, Sumo, but I think that would be preferable than going to Christchurch, personally.
I wouldn't like either.
No. They've been the form horses, no doubt.
Mind you, these two teams aren't too shabby either. Last year's finalists, let's not forget, and Tasman started the season with a hiss and a roar. They looked unstoppable until they were stopped.
And have been continued to be stopped for the last few weeks.
Very uncharacteristic from this side. They've had to make a few personnel changes along the way. No Ross Geldenhuys tonight. He's been suspended for a week for a shoulder. No Tim Perry, out injured. Marty Banks gone. Think about the fact they don't have Bryce Heem or James Lowe this season either, so a lot of their back three attack revolved around those two players, and they've had to get used to life without them this season. Others have deputised very well at times, don't get me wrong. Mitchell Scott, who's on the bench today, and Alex Nankivell, who was a big part of Tasman's charge through the under-19 tournament, the Jock Hobbs, where they came up just short against Counties Monaco in the Michael Jones Cup final. There's the penalty for Tasman.
Yeah, Nankivell was outstanding, actually. I enjoy watching him. He creates opportunities out of nothing, very incisive with the ball in hand, so great to see him at ITM Cup level.
Val gives away the scrum penalty. This will be some relief. Brendan Laney for Tasman. Just need to settle into their rhythm.
Yeah, did right, Sumo. That's exactly that. They've started really, really well, but you've got to admire the way Taranaki has sort of got themselves back in this game. Scored a fantastic try. And this will be the chance for Tasman just to get their rhythm going again, like you said.
Right. Started a conversation about defence. And the fact is, Taranaki's tackle percentage is third best in the competition. Tasman's this season second worst. And it goes Lola here again. Every time I talk about defence, he cuts it to shreds. Viliami Lola here. In for Tasman's first of the night, but a TMO call awaits.
You there, Rob? I just want to check whether there's an obstruction off the back of the line out. I believe it was 7 red. Can you have a look at that, please?
So Shane Christie is the man they're considering might have caused an obstruction to create a hole for Lola here.
Rob Lord is the TMO tonight. So a technical issue for Kane McBride. And we're looking at Shane Christie. There he is, the Tasman skipper. Well, he got into a scuffle. There's no doubt about that. It was with Hickory Elliott. If anything, Hickory Elliott was holding him back.
I don't think Hickory Elliott was going to get out and stop this man anytime soon.
Well, there was the secondary push from Shane Christie. As we have a look at the wide angle here, there is the tussle. Elliott's trying to get away, and there's the hold back from Shane Christie. I'll tell you what, he would have.
Yeah, you're right, actually. On second glance, the first one, Sumo, it looked like it was not ineffectual, but it's the second time that he certainly obstructs him, doesn't he? Yeah.
Got no real issue with the first bit. I mean, that's a bit of handbags. But when Hickory Elliott took off to make the tackle, there was a definite jersey pull from Shane Christie.
Righto. It started at the back, so it'll be a penalty on the 15-metre line, correct?
possession. Hector Elliott impeded in the defensive play by Shane Christie, and the try is disallowed.
10 from here, guys.
And there's the smile.
Obstruction.
You've got to be very, very quick before you make a call on these things, because initially I thought, wow, how can he call that? But then as you get the second look, there's no doubt about it. There was a bit of argy-bargy going on, but Lola here, they're going to have to keep a close eye on him tonight.
Well, for me, it was Boshier off the back of the... He was off the line out, standing at first 5 position. He technically missed the guy, and I know that obviously Elliott did get sort of held back a bit, or
Guys, listen to your front man. He's calling you.
But I still think that it probably wasn't as bad as it did look in slow-mo, to be fair.
Eyes up, hold!
Blake Thompson good at the back. And now Toa Halafihi looking up, scanning, sizing up his options. Jimmy Cowan is waiting for him. They keep driving the balls. And they're splintering Tasman. Toa Halafihi still with the ball at the back. Quentin McDonald trying to make a turnover play. Unable to. Toiroa Tahuriorangi can't get the ball out. Scooped up by Hector Elliott. Will come back for the penalty. That's a big turnaround play for Tasman. Denied a try. And now conceding well within Cody Ray's range.
Yeah, that doesn't help the confidence, does it?
I'll talk to you in a minute.
Looking like they're going to score 7.
I'll talk to you in a minute.
To being at the other end of town. It was very messy in that ruck. You saw Tahuriorangi had to go in with his boot, or to ruck, and the ball come flying out the side, and that doesn't happen without a bit of help or assistance from usually the opposition. We'll have a look on the replay and we'll see what conspired. Wonderful drive here from Taranaki. Good structure, nice and narrow at the front. They were able to get some go forward, and then it all just stopped here. And you just see the ball there lying there, and yeah, looked like the Tasman player. He was lying on top of it. He just wasn't really getting out of there as quick as he possibly could have. Sumo, you don't agree?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I've got no argument. A brave man to disagree with you at this ground, Bull. How many games? 110?
Long time ago, mate. You've got to have a good memory.
Here's the scrum. Kane Hames appealing for a reverse of that decision. Quentin McDonald, he was the man who was penalised earlier. Taranaki looked very likely at the back of the line-out. They've got a great option there in Blake Thompson.
Yeah, well, hasn't he played well for a guy who usually slots in at 8? He's moved into that lock position, and he's certainly playing extremely well. Just good with ball in hand, and he still does his core stuff with a bit of grunt work. So big scrum here. Big opportunity for Taranaki. 2 penalties for Tasman. They've got them down in this area, and they've got a big backline set out.
Yeah, they need to be a bit tighter in the scrum. Last time Taranaki conceded a penalty, so they need to get that part a little bit tighter. This is prime position for them.
There's a massive scrum from Tasman. Liam Squires pumped up, and Kane Hames takes the pats.
Yeah, I think the big grin all over his face tells the story. He's done a bit of a demo job there. Great scrummaging from the Highlanders loosehead prop. This time last year he was involved with Bay of Plenty. Now he's playing for Tasman. That was superb.
What's he doing with that head, or has he joined the Marines? I've seen it do like that since Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now.
There's a few crackers out there, to be fair, but man, that is a great scrum.
Well, Hames is a strong man, and he just kept going. Some viewer feedback on Twitter tonight about that disallowed try, as if he would have got there, says Cam Wilson. Well, if that's the case, Cam, why bother holding him back? Jimmy Cowan, and that one's gone straight up from Jimbo, and the bounce is good for Taranaki. Tahuriorangi cleverly slapped it down, and now Shane Christie has the tackle. And they win the penalty.
Over here.
Inside the 10 from the kick. Kane McBride playing a long advantage. Well, we knew this game would be a little bit of jab and parry, and so it's proved to be. Taranaki have certainly enjoyed very good periods of possession, but Tasman holding on, making the play that counts, and there's the player in front and never getting back on side was Lolohea. And unfortunately, they would have had to have run halfway to Stratford to get out of the way of that.
Yeah, well, Taranaki is starting to enjoy a bit more territory and possession. Territory stakes are 63, possession 65, so they're starting to get on top of Tasman a little bit at the moment, and Tasman are going to have to shore up their, particularly their discipline.
Cody Ray, get some Jonathan Thurston on that, and that one's gone left.
He doesn't take much time with his kicks. He puts it down on the tee and rips into it. So there is a wee breeze that's just sort of picking up as we talk. So it's favouring Taranaki at the mo. So that wind was pretty much right behind that kick.
So Brendan, Tasman look a little bit rattled to me at the moment.
Yeah, they do. I think those two penalties were something they didn't need.
There's a tackle from Liam Squire on his opposite, Toa Halafi'i. Another advantage. Discipline has been a nightmare for the Marcos this season. Hector Elliott finds himself in midfield, almost through the tackle. But Joe Wheeler hangs on to the bootlaces. Ta'avao now combining with Wainui. And on the halfway line they'll set again. Tahuriorangi pops it up to Elliott. In this Taranaki front row, full of endeavour in this game so far tonight. Beautiful pick out from Ngatai. Gets one back on Jimmy Cowan for the head high by telling him to go away. Thompson just holds on. Christie came in for the turnover. Can't get it. Tahuriorangi now. Found Toa Halafi'i, and Jimmy Cowan brings him down. They come again. It is carry after carry. Hoya to the last up. Cody Ray slips the pass, and Jimmy Cowan can't quite hold on. But we'll take the knock on and we'll scrum down.
Yeah, the crowd not too happy here, Sumo. A few the Tasman players a little bit slow to get back on their side of town. You might have noticed that down on the sideline, Brendan. They just seemed a little bit deliberate in their slow retreat.
Yeah, Squire was the culprit, and he got away with it. And he was coming back there, and he just got in the way of quick ball for Taranaki. So, yeah, could have probably been pinged. As we see the territory for Taranaki, which just proves they've certainly had most of the game, haven't they? And the ball.
Yeah, they are starting to dominate, and what they're doing is when they have got their hands on the ball, they're retaining it for long periods. They're just using the short runners combined with getting the ball on the outside channels when they need to very well at the moment. But they're, as we've mentioned a couple of times, they're tight forwards really doing the business in those tight in the close channels.
We'll reset the scrum. You also look at Taranaki well ahead of Tasman in terms of carries this season, well ahead of Tasman in terms of offload. In fact, Tasman in the bottom three of the competition in offloads this season. So there's just a little bit more in terms of ball in hand from Taranaki tonight. And the work of guys like Ta'avao and Hector Elliott, Ricky Huiata, Blade Thompson, all ball carriers, all men who can affect an offload in contact. That certainly helps the cause for this team.
Oh, absolutely. And what they do is they use them a lot down the short side. I think Taranaki is one of the better users of the short side. I think it's an underutilised part of the game, but they really work out very well.
You've got to build to create that short too, to create that blind side. And that's what those carries of Ta'avao do, one off. Here's a chance now for the Marcos as Kieran Fonatia turns it back for David Havili. Again, he's taken by Charlie Ngatai. Ngatai is marking up on him tonight, and Joe Wheeler can't hold on to the pass, picked up instead by Mitch Graham. Another penalty advantage now as Kurt Baker gets what I can only surmise to be his first touch of the game. Elliott And Elliott can't make any traction, so we'll come back for that penalty. Again, Taranaki can take full toll here by carving off plenty of turf.
Number 8. Offside.
The penalty count continues to climb.
Well, they'll have to be careful, Tasman, with penalties, because the referee will not muck around.
Hey?
Kane won't muck around when it comes to penalties, especially at breakdown time. If they're not rolling free, he likes to have a free-flowing game, so have to be a wee bit careful there.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Buff, but I think there was one game this season where he awarded 31 penalties, which is well above his average. But you're right about what he enjoys in a game, and that is to give teams momentum and the ability to get quick ball. And anyone who's coaching in this league would have studied referees and will know their likes and dislikes and their interpretations. Cody Ray is lining up a monster here.
Like I said, that wind's just picked up a bit, guys, so it is behind him, and he can certainly belt it.
Gives it a nudge, Cody Ray. He has got the distance, and it hits the upright. Joe Wheeler now gets an awkward bounce, and Robbie Melnick. And Kate Porky carrying Tasman out of trouble. Great run from Porky. Sets for Jimmy Cowan. Wheeler again. Formatia. And Quinton McDonald pops one up for Fredericks. Vernon Fredericks fending off Lachlan Bashir. And we'll come back, and that's a penalty.
You clean out the pass.
Illegal clean out from Quinton McDonald. Wow.
Well, that's a waste. Fredericks. Fantastic bust from him. The chase line was very slow from Taranaki on the penalty shot, and it gave Tasman the opportunity to get out of all sorts of trouble. Here we just see him moving it down the left-hand side. This is a really good bust out because they're under all sorts of pressure. And then we're going to see the run. Look at this. This is good stuff from Fredericks. He had no right to bust those defenders off like he did. And then, did you see what happened next there? I saw nothing.
Yeah, well, Quinton McDonald's the guy they're saying that you're not allowed to obviously clear out past the ball and hang on to a guy, and that's what he's saying he's done. But yeah, I was watching and I didn't actually see much at all. This is the ruck. Here he is there cleaning out, and then he's hung on to him after he's gone past. The ball's well and truly gone, isn't it?
Well, he came in. McDonald came in over the point of the ball. His job is to get the defender out of the way to free up the ball for his side. Is that not it? So yeah, that's a very technical, tough call, and that's a momentum killer for Tasman.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, Vern Fredericks gone off with blood, so he's just getting the snorer sorted out, and Kulamatang's gone on, fellas, for Tasman.
Well, let's have a look after the ruck here, because he hits Bashir, and then he pulls him to ground. That's a penalty offence. Wow.
Yeah. Very technical, that one, isn't it?
I was wondering if Kane McBride initially got him for leading with the shoulder in the cleanup. As if there's some other way to lead. Anyhow, we carry on, and Fonatia's dropped the ball, but we'll come back for the knock on.
Under pressure still. Great. Knocked on at the line out.
Tasman find themselves on the wrong side of the territory war tonight. We just wanted to that the standard composure. What we're used to seeing this from Tasman, and we have done over the years, is their ability to create, to look free-spirited, but also operate within a certain kind of structure. And that structure involved patience. And you just get the sense that over the last month, they don't have that characteristic patience that Marco's teams for the last 3 or 4 years have had.
They appear from the outside looking in to have lost a little bit of confidence. And when you're not performing as well as you expect to, your confidence can go. And they just look like they've just lost that confidence to me at the moment. And the way to get it back is, of course, to play winning rugby.
It's a good carry from David Harvilli. Took the ball from the scrum, and Jimmy Cowan now looking for runners. Finds Renata. He turns the ball back in field, and that's a good carry from Kalua Mapangi. Back for Renata. Charlie Nartai mows another down. Christie sets now for Cowan, and he tries the kick again. No chase on the kick from Cowan, so that's easy pickings for Jackson Orman. Hames now trying to get the turnover. Slipped out, and Jimmy Cowan thought about having a crack at it, decided against it, and Charlie Nartai sidesteps everyone, including himself, and they'll sit again for Mitch Graham. Nartai back in the play. Joe Wheeler doesn't miss him this time. And Tahuri Orangi pointed at referee Kane McBride until he awarded the penalty.
I was going to say he did a bit of refereeing himself.
I don't think it was deliberate.
Well, I feel sorry for Tasman in that situation, because technically speaking, they just got more players to the breakdown.
Yeah, the other thing there, Sumo, is there's no one really to hit against, is there? So, of course, the only place they do go is to the deck. It is a real tough one, that one.
Cody Ray, there's just an idea of the breakdown dominance of Taranaki. There's Joe Wheeler beaten heads up. 32 breakdowns to 18 for Taranaki, showing that they've been a lot more patient in building their phases, and that's just a counter ruck for me.
Yeah, tough call against Tasman.
Blade Thompson gets the ball, but two halfbacks. I tell you what, there are some rugby laws being reffed to out here today. Kane McBride's been studying up. Well, you've just tried to tell a full pack to count to two, so I mean, no wonder they're looking confused.
Well, no disrespect to the Taranaki guys, but he certainly picked out three halfbacks, and it's extremely hard to do, but he's given them a free kick for it, so they've taken the scrum, Tasman. Well, really, we're sort of a bit of nothing rugby at the moment, aren't we? We're sort of, no one's really done anything for the last sort of 5 to 10 minutes.
Well, I can't get anything going at the moment because, unfortunately, it's a bit of a stop-start affair.
Tasman too. Remembering we had that try disallowed. Taranaki have only conceded 16 tries this season. 140 points on the year, and that's the lowest of any team in the Premiership. They're a hard team to score against. As Tasman drive up. And now it's out, and now it's in. And somehow Liam Squire still has possession. Cowan again. Renata misses one and finds Fonotia. Cowan, short ball, Wheeler. Coming out in front of Kate Porky, eyes up the line again. The defensive line is very good for Taranaki as they work their way across field and shut down the run. Alex Ainley now. And Siuala Nuku. He will draw the penalty advantage. Fonotia from depth, and Melding gets us off right away. Beautiful hands from David Harvilli. And Viliami Lolo here is... The ball was ripped out by Kurt Baker, and Kurt Baker has won his team a scrum feed.
Oh, Brendan, you would have appreciated a couple of those passes from the Tasman backs.
Oh, Harvilli's was outstanding. Melnick got ball and man at the same time from Fonotia, so he got it away beautifully. And then this one dragged him from behind. Look at that for a pass over the shoulder, didn't even look.
Well, he caught it from behind, didn't he? And then threw it. So I don't know how he did it, but that was wonderful skill, the catch and the pass. Certainly not your normal out of the textbook stuff, but superbly executed.
How about the burgle there from Kurt Baker?
Yeah, well, he saved his team a whole lot of pain, that's for sure. They were in big trouble.
And we've seen that judged differently. We've seen the ball ripped out, no knock on awarded in the past. That was a strip, plain and simple.
This is an area Taranaki's under a fair bit of pressure. Scrum time. They got pilled by about 5 metres the last scrum they had. It was Tasman's put in.
Hames again. He's crushing them. Kane Hames.
Yep.
Tight head collapsing.
At the moment, he's just overpowering his opposition, that's for sure.
Hey, Paul, you'd love the chat that's going on in there, mate. It's hilarious. The boys are really pumped up. Those front rows are yakking away at each other.
Well, I think I know who's probably doing the loudest chat, and that'd be Tasman, because they've got the dominant hand at the moment. Kane Hames, he's having a stormer in those scrums. Well, there he is. He is really doing the business on Angus Tuttle.
I'll tell you what, he's squeezing him so tight he's going to lose the apostrophe in his surname.
Yeah, he'll be getting a bit of jet lag, because he's just getting under him and just, oh boy, there's some pressure on him there.
Looking at the far side, Kane Hames.
Well, this is going to be a tough kick, Sumo. Like I said, that breeze has come up a bit, so he'll be kicking pretty much straight into it.
Rennett's up, and this one's holding up, and it will shave the upright, but ultimately be worth 0. And Kurt Baker forces for the 22, which they take quickly, Taranaki. And that one is kicked a long way downfield, as long as you can get without being in goal. Robbie Melnick will have to bring it out of his own 22. Chooses the chip and chase approach. And Halafi thought he had it covered, but Lolohea came from behind and sorted that out.
Well, Lolohea been the best in red tonight. He's been outstanding.
Kate Porky wasn't expecting that one, and Jackson Ormond wasn't expecting to be stood up. Very narrow short side to work in for David Harvey, and ultimately maybe not the right option.
Just had an interesting text from a friend of mine saying that Kane Hames should be in the All Blacks. He's liking what he's doing. Clinton Hancock, good mate of mine, enjoying this one from home.
I was going to say, unless that text is from Ian Foster, Steve Henson or Grant Fox, I don't know if it's going to count for much.
Oh, how good was Lola here? That was a great wee chip. Probably slightly bigger than a chip, to be fair, from Melnick. Both these wingers for Tasman have really made some ground.
They have. It's great to see Kate Porky back in provincial rugby. He's got so much more to offer. Well, let's have a look as we just sort out a couple of injuries, maybe a contact lens for Angus Ta'avao, in fact. What about last year? And the occasion of this was Tasman and Taranaki playing on this ground in the Premiership final. And there's the pick-off by Charlie Ngatai playing in 12. And Taranaki ultimately going all the way. Cody Ray there kicking 8 from 8. And Taranaki earning its first ever Premiership banner. Back live now as the scrum will feed. Charlie Ngatai, Captain New Zealand Māori as well. Key member of the Chiefs over recent seasons.
Crouch!
Just an unassuming and understated kind of player who makes a hell of a lot of good decisions on a rugby field.
Well, the scrum troubles continue. Vicar Elliott, he's not taking any of it. He might be going backwards in the odd scrum, but he's still got plenty to say. Surprise, surprise. Croswell has been working hard tonight. Haven't mentioned his name too much, but he's just doing the down and dirty work as he normally does.
Bind!
He's that kind of player, isn't he, Mitch Croswell?
Stand up, guys.
His brother was very similar. Nick and Mitch cut from the same cloth, just grafters.
I think sometimes, Sumo, we can just pay attention to guys that carry the ball all the time, make the yards, but there's those guys in the team that when they don't have the ball, they're doing all the work. And getting around, putting the pressure on the opposition, supporting their teammates, so important to the performance of the team, guys like Nick Croswell. Mitch Croswell, I should say, sorry.
Well, a big hello to Nick. I'm sure he's watching his brother playing today. Last time I saw Nick Croswell, he was being choked out by Richard Kahu. Fortunately, he tapped out before he lost consciousness. Wise decision. 5 metres out from the 22. Tahuriurangi now will kick. Coming at knots is Kate Porky, who spins and sets up Robbie Melnick. Christie there quickly. Renata. And onward again to Lola here, this time with the offload. Kieran Fonatia kicks ahead, and that bounce is awkward. Well cleaned up by Cody Ray, who gets cleaned up by Shane Christie. No! Cowan is there, and he can't do that.
Very tempting when it pops out like that, though, isn't it? Oh, Cody Ray, take a bow. He did very well. I could just see that ball bouncing over his head. The bounce was ugly, and he somehow managed to keep his composure and get it back on his side. I think he's hurt himself in the process, but that was good, courageous stuff from the Taranaki first 5-8. They were under all sorts of pressure. It was a very clever little kick through here. So Knight into passing. Fonatia, this is clever. We saw the space in behind. Oh, Cody Ray, that is superb. And we had red all over him, and somehow he got the ball back, and then the ball just, well, yeah, it's in a ruck.
There was a shot there of Jimmy Cowan and Kurt Baker having a small conversation. If you ever wanted a tiebreaker in a tight game, just put Kurt Baker and Jimmy Cowan together in a room and see who could chat his way out. I'd pay to see that.
Still be a draw.
That was chat, by the way, for those who misheard me. Robbie Melnick jumped and was tackled, and that's all fair and square, as Angus Tarbow says, I'll take that. And he's stolen a lunch. Cowan gets back and makes the clear to touch, but he doesn't find it. Somehow that stayed in field. Now a chance for Taranaki through Hickory Elliott. Elliott sees a gap. Elliott finally taken down by Christie, and Melnick says, I'll have that, and Sean Wainui says, give it back.
About 5.
Things are getting cray-cray here at Yarrow Stadium. Now it's come off the foot of Havili. Havili has got no friends. Now he gets the offload to Melnick. Robbie Melnick, steps 1, steps 2. Ormond makes the tackle. Still there for Fonatia, and he's lost the ball forward. Tasman will be cursing themselves.
Yeah, you just see the hand up there. Sorry, boys. Oh, they should have scored. They had the opportunity, Sumo.
Scrap in the background, and all the loose forwards getting together. There was the hit. There was the kick. Kurt Baker got held back. Jimmy Cowan can't find touch. He gets knocked. There's Baker and Cowan. There it is. What's going on here? Get a room, you two.
Are we playing or are we watching telly?
Hey, Cody Ray.
Love it.
I'm exhausted watching the last 2 minutes of this game.
Did you hear Kane McBride?
I did.
Are we playing rugby or are we watching TV? Mind you, plenty of highlights to watch.
Well, and a lot of them nowhere near where the ball is, mate. Gee, there was action left, right and centre all over the park. Jeepers, there's too much going on to explain.
Opportunities like that you've got to take, don't you?
Bind!
How many turnovers in that period of play?
Lost count. There was a few.
I was wondering why you're taking your shoes off, Bull.
Taking a breath.
You pushed before even signals. Should have rolled it in.
There's an early push from Tasman, as if things couldn't get any worse.
This is not a debate. This is not a debate right now.
Oh, Kane McBride, he's working hard.
Kane McBride knew when he turned up tonight that he was going to get plenty of advice from these two teams tonight. He knew that. As play continues, we've got 45 seconds remaining. Then it's time for a cup of tea and a lie down. Porky caught on the halfway line. Jimmy Cowan is there. Now David Havili finds Lola here. Again, he looks dangerous, carrying the ball in 2 hands, and he's freeing up a player on the outside. Wheeler now, short ball to Halo Nuka Nuka. He will set for Cowan. They'll come the other way. Back to Havili. There are some gaps appearing in this Taranaki defence. Tasman will want something for their endeavour in this first spell. They'll want something more than the 3 points to Trent Renata, their captain. He takes a charge. Now Quentin McDonald. Christie is there. Christie tackled. The timing was beautiful. Ball still there and picked up, and Stewart buries the head. And then they give up the penalty again for holding on.
Well, this has been a familiar story for Tasman. Gee, they've done the hard yards at times, but every time they get into the right part of town, they seem to give up the penalties, Brendan. Yeah, well, there's Christie. He's looking a bit bemused at it all. It's Taranaki. They kick it downtown. And there's chasers coming quick, Sumo.
It's Baker leading the charge, and Baker stops short of crushing Melnick into the advertising hoarding. I wouldn't have put it past him. And that finally is half-time here at Yarrow Stadium, with the home side leading a big tussle, 7 points to 3. How long has he been coaching now for? 25, 30 years?
Well, he used to coach me when I played, and I haven't played for about 18 years.
His facial expression has never changed.
Yeah, no, he's calm, and he's like that in the changing shed as well, Sumo. Always calm, knows what's going on. He is an absolutely wonderful coach. Always very measured.
Old Koro Cooper. He'll have his team fizzing, that is for sure. Willie Rickards would have done a lot of the talking in the shed as well, and there's a big mistake. David Havili comes up with a massive error inside his own 22 to start the second half. Doesn't he know it?
Yeah, I don't think we need to say too much about that. Just a little lapse of concentration there. Taranaki, they'll be licking their lips. This is just the start they wanted.
I don't know. You want to have a look?
We talked about territory in the first half, and Taranaki have won more games on territory than any other team in this competition.
I'll deal with the next one.
Liam Squire is down receiving some attention, and you can just get a sense of how they love to play the game at the other end of the field. And it's pressure all the time. Here's a late shot. That's why Squire's down, and he cops one right in the hip from Cody Ray. Now you can afford to look at the TV. Nothing comes of that, and we play on.
Well, he's talking a little bit there, Liam Squire. I don't think he's too impressed, and I'm sure he'll be looking at the screen saying who tuned up his ribs.
In fairness, the big screen wasn't showing the replay. They were asking the crowd to get their Bulls merchandise at the container north end of the Yarrow stand, so everyone's missed that.
So lucky for Cody Ray, I'd suggest.
And no TMO can come in an ITM Cup and make a suggestion to the referee. It's more a hypodermic approach.
Well, it'd have to be the first time that a first five's done some damage on a number 8 like that.
I'm starting to think the scoreboard operator's a co-conspirator in that. The big screen operator here at Yarrows. Play continues. Taranaki have the scrum. You'll remember this goes back to the Havili era. And there's the ball to Ormond. He's taken out of play. Cade Porky coming up with the tackle that mattered.
Yeah, they like to plug that blind side. We've talked about it many times. Tahuria Rangi, that pass might have been a little bit high, but I think he was running out of room anyway. But there was a bit of space here. Yeah, he had to take it high, and that just slowed things down. But good cover defence from Cade Porky.
He was quick from the back of the scrum, Tahuria Rangi. This one's taken up by Vernon Fredericks. And they'll need an accurate exit plan here, Tasman. They get it through Trent Renata. Thumps one downfield. Here's Latu Vaino. I forgot he was on the park. Ngatai. I was privileged to watch Latu Vaino play last year in the Condor School Sevens, and then through the Summer 7 series for Taranaki. Latu Vaino, part of the Rotorua Boys High School team. Summer 7 series starts again late November. I'm looking forward to bringing you coverage live on Sky as this ITM Cup fixture continues. And it's a scrap. They're into everything here. Turned in field, and there's a big shot from Jimmy. Cowan did not miss.
Cowan on Baker. There's some bad blood there.
They're smiling at each other. That's awkward. Boshier. Now they're 8 metres out from the Tasman line. As they come in again and throw themselves at the breakdown. Wainui. Still 7 out. Tasman now have to make their tackles count. Darval. And Darval was beached. He was beached as. And Funatia now under pressure. Gets the ball away, and it's a forward pass. Tasman are making life very tough on themselves here.
Yeah, Taranaki almost just got to sit back and let it unfold, don't they? Because they're their worst enemies. Look at this, Jim. Oh, look at his eyes light up. He thought, hey, it's Christmas. I remember you from the other end of the...
I'll teach you for pushing me in the face.
And there was a bit of chat to follow up as well. Oh, boy, they're on fire, those two.
Well, there's a pass that probably didn't need to be thrown at all. They just got to tidy that up, really get out of this area. Taranaki put in a heap of pressure on here, boys.
Oh, it's the full court press. Make no mistake about that. That's what I mean, though, about the uncharacteristic... uncharacteristic acts from this Tasman team. That just shows a lack of composure.
Yep.
Throwing a forward pass a metre out from your own goal line. Off the back they go. Tuaha Fihi got his pass away, and again the combination of Tahuri Orangi and Jackson Orman can't quite complete the deal.
He was out before he lost it. Options.
Well, Tahuri Orangi, you just see the class of the halfback there. Good platform laid by the Taranaki forward pack. He's fast and he's pressurising that Tasman defence for sure. Jackson Orman, though, unable to control on that time.
Well, Tasman, going back to that composure thing, Sumo, they really are chasing a win. That's what it looks like to me. We know how good they are. They know they're in the semi-finals, but they certainly want to get that at home. So it's a real tough one when you've lost 3 in a trot, but you really want that win, and you've come up to a place, especially here in Taranaki, where it's very, very hard to get a win. They just seem to be chasing it a bit.
Yep, oh no, I concur with that. You know, things have gone against this team before, and they may feel that plenty of things have gone against them this year in terms of decisions made on field and calls against, but in the past they've been able to rise above that. At the moment it seems that every one of those decisions is having a major impact on the team and its confidence. Cowan now, back for Renata.
Nice, Josh.
And that's kicked into touch. Renata's pulled up lane.
I have to stop.
Well, Kane Haynes down there getting his boots sorted out, so see Renata kicking there. He just didn't quite bang it right, did he? I would have limped too if that had happened. Or just
You think he's just making an excuse?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Are you calling that a sympathy limp?
Well, sure. I play a bit of golf too, and I certainly blame something else before I blame myself.
At least you're honest, mate. At least you're honest.
You haven't seen a scorecard. Here's the throw from Hickory Elliott. Blade Thompson again the target. Tua Halafi'i.
He's been good tonight, Halafi'i. Been very busy.
And Squire sorts him out. Mitch Graham. And the pick and go. And that one's been knocked on. Backwards, says Kane McBride, and then he penalises Tasman again.
Offside, number 5, red.
What about the first infringement?
Well, there's the frustration I'm talking about.
100%.
Obviously, Joe Wheeler is incensed about this decision, but you've just got to get back and get on. Shane Christie has come in for a corridor.
Going with it, please.
And to be honest, when a player continually badges a referee, they're not doing themselves any favours, are they? He's not going to change his decision.
Well, let's have a look at the alleged offence. It certainly looked,
Shane, you need to turn around and look at me. Shane?
As if it were a knock-on.
They're right there. There it is.
Listen.
Well,
You need to start leading from me.
I can understand why he said something to the ref.
Listen to me, this is very important. You need to start listening to me and stop coming to me with everything. Start leading, because your whole team's starting to do it. Wonder why.
Well, that's when you've lost the ref. But ultimately, that's an incorrect decision. And Tasman are now staring down the barrel of a further 3 here. Charlie Ngatai, and he keeps it inside. 3 more for the Taranaki cause. And they stretch 10 points to 3.
Well, Cody Ray down there, guys. He's usually the kicker, so nice to have a guy like Charlie Ngatai who can pop up and bang him over the way he did. He's got his left ankle strapped up, so we'll just keep an eye on him, Cody Ray. They won't want to lose him. He's been playing him outstanding at 10 for them.
Tense. There are tempers. There are frustrations. And it's physical and it's willing. It's not a high-scoring affair, but some of the best aren't. This is everything we thought it would be. 2 teams that in their last 5 games have been separated by very few points. In fact, the biggest margin in the last 5 outings is 9, as Robbie Melnick somehow gets through a whole bunch.
Good work from the Taranaki open side flanker there. Lachlan Boshier. Christie got isolated. It was a good bust from him. He's trying to get his team back in the go-forward mode. But Boshier, he got in there quickly and he's saved his team a whole heap of pain, really.
Nice, Joseph.
Oh, Charlie Ngatai, what can this guy not do?
Alex, you're right.
Yeah, here we see the Tasman fullback, Robbie Melnick. This is a wonderful run from him. He just keeps on going and going.
You can't even talk to me.
Excellent work. Good support here from Christie. And you just see he got isolated there with 3 Taranaki defenders on him.
Can you just check him, please?
Well, Alex Hanley, I think this might be a concussion test. Kane McBride, the ref, has stopped it and said we want to check him out, so...
Well, that's good. Kane McBride's words were, he can't really talk to me. As we have a look at some of the other games coming up, Canterbury taking on Southland, of course, 2:30 p.m. The Ranfurly Shield Challenge tomorrow night from Napier. Magpies taking on the Mooloos. Wellington and Manawatu, 5:30 p.m. on Saturday from Westpac Stadium. Big game for Manawatu. If Waikato were to lose the Shield Challenge, Manawatu would need victory in order to save themselves from relegation. And we wrap up the weekend, of course, at Pukekohe. Saturday at least. Auckland taking on Counties Monaco. Alex Ainey will go off for a head check.
Yep, Marco Kutzier's gone on, fellas, in 19, so he'll get the head checked out and we might see him back.
Well, that's a great referee intervention in my book. Kotsa straight into the action as he makes the tackle on Latu Vaino. And Tahuri Orangi finds Mitch Graham. Vernon Fredericks has him up. He was on the ground and he had to be released. Hicker Elliott muscles his way up a couple of metres. That'll be a penalty.
Holding on. You can let it go, man.
Kane Hames doing a good job there. It was almost a slow-mo, wasn't it? Things just seemed to slow down for that moment in time. But Tasman will be relieved to actually get something go their way, because it's been a difficult first 10 minutes of the second half for them.
It started, of course, with an error. David Harvili dropping the ball inside his 22, and they haven't really been able to escape their half since. Here's Alex Ainley, who went in, and then he's down, and he got a knee right in the head from Blade Thompson. Quentin McDonald. Big throw. Breakdown infringement. 7-1 against Tasman. Here's Lawler here. And it takes 3 to hold him up, but hold him up they have. He somehow manages to get himself down. And surely he's in the way. No. A maul was called. And Taranaki did not have to get out of the way.
Wonder what would happen if we were allowed to ruck. Would that ball have come out? Because I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have laid there if it was years ago. We see that here. Here's the tackle, and I understand if he's called maul, fair enough, and you can see he's having a wee look at the referee. But there, once he's hit the ground, he's got to roll away. If a couple of tags are on his back, he shifts, and we get a free-flowing game, not another stoppage.
Well, maybe if a player gets to deck, we just need to change the law around maul, because once a maul's caught, you flop on the ball, the play stops, you win the turnover. Fair enough if you hold the player up, but maybe once the player goes to deck, we need to have a look at what happens then, subsequent to the player getting to ground, because he should be rewarded. A tight head is made, and ultimately the Marcos have the ball. Cowan now. Into midfield, and Kane Hames makes a good carry. Cowan has harassed behind the breakdown by Lachlan Bashir.
Stay there.
Halanukanuk pops it up to Vernon Fredericks, and he's taken down by Mitch Graham, and Hector Elliott makes a big turnover play. Lost try scored. Quentin McDonald.
You happy?
It was a great turnover from Hector Elliott, but the ball spilled out, and his opposite, Quentin McDonald, gets Tasman their first try.
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
Well, good awareness from Quentin McDonald. Taranaki looked like they'd done the business with the turnover. Hector Elliott doing some fantastic work, but he had no support. Here we see it here. He goes in there, he gets the ball back, places it back. Oh, and then there was the defensive work. It was that replacement player, Marco Kutsia. He made the tackle on Cody Ray. The ball popped loose, and McDonald was onto it. Fantastic work from the Marcos.
Yeah, Kutsia was the one, wasn't he, Paul? He did a great job, really.
Well,
Johnny on the spot.
Yeah. He just dislodged that ball. Fantastic work from him. And suddenly it's 10 apiece, and the Marcos are back in it.
That's tough. Taranaki now are back to square one. They have had plenty of time in Tasman's half, and we've congratulated Taranaki for spending a lot of time in Tasman territory, but really they haven't made that time count. And Tasman with a great opportunist try at the other end of the field. We go back to the tight head. Tasman scrum again. Must be credited, at least in part, for that try, as Joe Wheeler picks up. Cowan now. Here's the ball for Kane Porky, who ran straight into Orman and Wainui. Good tackle, high and low. Christie can't quite get through Angus Talvo. Now Jimmy Cowan picks up, and he thought Halanukanuk was there, but Halanuka was going 5 k's an hour, and he needed him to be travelling at 20. Ball is still there somehow. Cowan reaches in, but hands on the ground from Joe Wheeler.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I think we'll find it's Hector Elliott once again putting all sorts of pressure on the Tasman ballers. Taranaki, they're off.
will come back in front of the kicker. This time it's the other number 5.
Number 5
for Taranaki, Blade Thompson.
Yeah.
This game's exhausting.
I'll tell you what, boys. Jackson Orman paid $10 to get a decent pass. He really has been put under the pump. He did really well with his kick in, but unfortunately everyone got in front of him. Blade Thompson being the man picked out, but he could pick 2 or 3 of them.
David Havili comes forward. Renata's obviously no good to kick. And Havili will find a touch. 5 short of the 22.
Melnick's no good either. So Mitchell Scott has come on. He's in 23. He didn't look too good when he took that ball early in that piece.
Long season, or what should be a long season, and it's compressed. These players have had a big workload over the last 9 weeks. Many of them coming on the back of a Super Rugby season as well. Cowan down to Renata. Renata popped the ball away to Havili and Porky. Trying to get around the outside of Ngatai. Good luck. Not many do. Some planking going on in the middle of that. And then a scrum for Taranaki again.
I don't think the Marcos will be too disappointed about having a scrum, because it's worked very well for them today, led by Kane Haynes, their loose head prop. But once again, the Marcos making all the play, applying the pressure to Taranaki. It comes to breakdown time, and Taranaki doing a good work. Ngatai there, as we've seen a few times today, he's so strong in these confrontation situations. Lots of pressure coming on Tasman.
Alex Ainley is looking like he's good to go.
Yep, he has passed that, so great to see. Bit of precaution, so I'm sure he'll be rearing to get back on the pitch.
Interesting shot here, guys. Well, it's gone off the scrum now, but if you look at Angus Tarvel against Kane Haynes, quite a differential in height, and that's what's causing the problem for Tarvel. Haynes is getting underneath him because he's quite a short contact player, and that's where the problems are coming.
We see quite a lot of long loose heads in rugby these days, Bill. For you, though, as a player, did you prefer to scrum against shorter guys or taller guys?
Taller guys, for sure. You got more of an opportunity
and for that
to get
reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can see the height differential there. It's huge, and that's what's causing the problem for Tarvel.
Foot either side. Let's go.
He's been amazing around the field tonight. He's been absolutely outstanding, but I tell you what, he's feeling the pinch in this part of the match.
Well, and that's where we focus our attention for this scrum. 10 points apiece. This rivalry has been outstanding in recent times. Taranaki, coming into this one, had won 9 of the 11 championship matches between these two teams. 4 of the last 5, as Bull mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast, and there is the free kick.
You're not still and steady. Take the hit.
It was Mitch Graham this time who was penalised by Kane McBride. And a decision to make now for Tasman. Renata probably can't kick goals. Melnick probably can't kick goals. No Marty Banks. Leaving David Havili, I would suggest, as the goal kicker.
Here's Amy coming back on, Sumo. Kutsia, who's come on and made a real impact, turned the ball over for their try, so great effort by him.
Tell you what, they've had those French wigs since the last World Cup. They've just repurposed those.
Time is on.
Almost 3/4 gone. A replay of the Premiership final here in 2014. And this one is as tense as that. There is the penalty for Tasman again. 4 scrum penalties tonight against Taranaki.
Charlie.
And there's some chat now as well.
I've had a minimum of 4 penalties against this guy. Yep. He's either dropping, collapsing, because he's not taking the hit or the shove, or he's angling in. If he can't stay straight and head and shoulders above hips, he'll be going on the sideline.
So this is probably a time for the Taranaki coaching staff to maybe make a substitution.
Well, if I give you a wee heads up, Paul, you reckon? They're looking at it, but possibly it might be the other guy.
Well,
quick change.
just an observation.
Well, and I'll tell you what, this is surprising for me. Now you're down to your third choice goal kicker. You've got a tight head prop on a final warning, and instead of scrumming again, you choose to take a shot at goal. Go for the kill.
Yeah, they've let him off. They've left Taranaki off the ropes a bit there.
What's the worst that could happen there?
Yeah, no, they've let them off the ropes for sure.
Here's David Harville. Mind you, you've got a 100% record. It's a pretty good bet too for Harville. The kick at goal. He likes the look of that. Picks up the tee and the flags go up too. Tasman, for the first time since the second minute of this match, are in the lead.
Oh, and Taranaki have gone to the bench, guys, but we're not the guy coming off. We thought Mitchell Graham in 1. He's been replaced by Sione Lea in 17. And Bernie Hall in 20. He's been playing very well. Gone on for Lachlan Bashir. He's had a good game at 7.
Here's the kick from Cody Ray. Final quarter of the match. In fact, just 18:45 remaining. Cowan inside the 22, and then it's a big bruising, bustling, bumping run from Liam Squire. Harville off the left. Was it carried back? Yes, it was. We will come back for the line out inside the 22.
There he is, Joe Wheeler. He'd be looking to cause a bit of mayhem at this scrum. He's line out, I should say. Had a good strong year this year, Joe.
Great on opposition ball, Joe Wheeler.
And just see him chatting away there. Loves to talk.
Halfback's out.
Just trying to throw them off their stride. Oh, poor old Kay McBride. He's looking for a quiet place after this game because, man, his ears have been thrashed.
This time it's Ricky Wiata. I know his big bro Jared will be watching this. Hi to you, Ho. And there's the penalty this time against Taranaki. And again it's Angus Ta'avao. Well, we talked him up at the beginning of this match and he deserved to be talked up as well, but it has been a night to forget for Big Gus in terms of his relationship with the referee.
Well, there's a wee bit of a getting out of jail there for Tasman. They made the mistake after scoring the points, which really is a bit of a coach killer, and they've got out of jail a wee bit there. Taranaki was setting up for a really good drive, and unfortunately the ball getting knocked on, so another chance for Tasman to get themselves down into this Taranaki half again.
And they're a better second half team. Tasman has been all season long. 167 points they have scored in second half play this year. That is more than Taranaki. And Taranaki too, a better second half team. As Jimmy Cowan has his option cut off. What a good line from Mitch Croswell. Wheeler then at halfback. And it's one off the ruck. They lead the game by 3. 13 plays 10. 2 tries in the match. Use it! Cowan goes high. And chasing this is Squire. Has to wait for Ormond and then puts him in reverse. And he puts a foot in touch. Tasman will have possession. Great kick chase from Liam Squire.
Far too many people are touching that ball.
Yeah, Jackson Ormond did well, but he was no match for Squire on the burst.
Make sure your last
He hit him, drove him back, and then put him over the sideline. They say a kick is only as good as its chaser. Oh, he did very well. He took the ball in the air, but look at this power from Squire. Fantastic work from the big number 8.
Great take from Joe Wheeler. Down to Jimmy Cowan, and they set the back line away. There's the burst. Vernon Fredericks into the 22. Loose ball to Porky. And he pops one up. Renata now. Out to Wheeler. McDonald gets it hard, but somehow that ball ends up in the hands of Fornatia. And then he loses the ball in contact and into touch. An option, I would suggest, scrum or line out.
Number 2.
Well, there's going to be some changes in the line out too for Taranaki. Iggy Elliott coming off and Reece Marshall in 16. Good replacement. So we see Tasman moving a great line by Fredericks. He's been dangerous with ball in hand there. He's been outstanding.
Very strong, isn't he? And he's got a very good fend, and he's looking to bump players off. And here we see Tasman getting it wide, Wheeler getting involved, and Croswell it was. And what's Croswell here? He just tracks Fornatia and makes another tackle. Desperation there from the Taranaki blindside flanker.
Well, that ball was lost in the tackle and then kicked into touch by Taranaki. And somehow we have a Taranaki line out. Unless my eyes deceive me, and I do wear glasses, there's every chance. Talval taken by 2. Kelly then stripped away by Vernon Fredericks under the bar. Twice Taranaki have turned the ball over just out from their goal line, and twice the Marcos have taken a bite.
Well, we've just been talking them up, and now you can see why. That should have never happened. Taranaki had the numbers around that ball, and somehow Vernon Fredericks, he got on there and just ripped it. Here we'll see it. Look at this. He just, oh, look at this. Fantastic work from him. He can't believe his luck. The old stutter step, he looks up. That's only the goal line in front of me, he says. I better take it.
That's outstanding work. Thief in the night stuff. Brilliant.
They got big numbers around Tarval, and ultimately it's hard for a man to win in a 1-4. Here's Havili to convert this try, and it's now a 10-point ball game. 20 points to 10. Tasman
3 and 8.
Well, there's Angus Tarval's night over, guys, along with Halafihi, who's been very strong with ball in hand. They've been replaced by number 19, Adrian Wyrell. He's come on. And obviously number 18, Ryan Cocker as well.
Vernon Fredericks enjoying his start tonight. Peter Samu has been preferred in the 6th jersey this season. Vernon Fredericks dropping a timely reminder to the staff, don't forget about me come playoff time. Tasman now in the box seat, but you can't write this Taranaki side off. Tasman have led on this park before. Lola here gets an instruction and then gets hammered, and back play. Croswell back for Baker, and that one finds touch from Kurt Baker. Lola here got cleaned up.
Well, that wind's picked up a wee bit as you see Lola Hiri getting absolutely nailed. Well, that meant Croswell again. Oh, it might have even been Hoiata, to be fair.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic tackle, really.
Yep. He's Blazer game tonight, number 20 for Ricky Hoiata.
Kotsa, good at line-out time. And a flat ball this time to Fonotia. Desperate to get their hands on the ball, Taranaki. Work of Adrian Wyrell over the top. Now it's Squire. He has had some very good touches in the last 20 minutes, Liam Squire. Cowan. Is that a drop kick from Jimmy Cowan? That's at the post. It's still on here. Jimmy Cowan's drop kick. seen it all.
Right. Run is over.
Oh, Liam Squire, he's pretty stoked about that one. The outside channel, the Kieran Reid special. Running wide and running at pace. Wow, that all just happened so quick.
An advantage applied. Advantage was over Jimmy Cowan. Have a look at this. Decides I'll have a snap. Jimmy Cowan wasn't even taking it seriously. And chasing up was Kate Porky. And the rest is history.
Well, I tell you what, I know Liam Squire's happy and the coaches will be happy, but I tell you what, Jimmy Cowan, that'll be the sweetest drop kick he's ever had.
Well, it was just a quick snap, wasn't it? Wonderful pass from Shane Christie.
Jimmy Cowan's done a lot in his career, but that's the first time he's kicked a 5-point drop goal. 3 from 3 tonight for David Havili. A perfect season with the boot so far. This is toughest of the night. That is some kick from David Havili. 27 plays 10.
Well, changes coming up here. Tahu Riorangi, he's coming off. And Callum O'Donnell in 21 has gone on. So change at halfback for Taranaki, and also 22, Len McBride, he's gone on for Cody Ray, who, to be fair, is maybe carrying a wee injury in his ankle.
Ball taken in by Joe Wheeler. Here's a good ball. Out to Mitchell Scott. He makes some good meters up to the 10-metre line, still inside Tasman's half. Cowan. Box kick from him. Kurt Baker gets away from Havili. And they all fly at Kurt Baker before he's finally cleaned up. There will be the penalty. Tasman not rolling away. Kotzer, the man penalised.
Still sloping down.
And Sumo, something that's stacking up for Taranaki, and not in a good way, is missed tackles tonight. 17 missed tackles to Tasman's 8, and that's really hurt them. And they were very fortunate in the first half. That didn't hurt them a lot worse, because Tasman just couldn't keep the momentum going. They were giving away penalties. But in the second half, well, let's last 10 minutes, because they really struggled for periods of the second half initially, they have really made those missed tackles hurt Taranaki.
Everything's come back for Tasman. You recall, around 30 minutes into the match, Taranaki almost double the number of breakdowns that Tasman had had. Now, Tasman actually lead in terms of rucks in this game.
Well, Atu Leonu's coming off, guys. Number 11, Avon Lewis, and 23 going on. We heard Colin Cooper at half-time talk about missed tackles. Well, he'll be pretty angry with the fact that they've missed 17.
And the other thing Brendan he spoke about was set piece, and the scrums really hurt them tonight as well.
Did right, mate. Hence the changes.
Avon Lewis. 27-year-old. First game of the season for Avon. There's the penalty again against Tasman. That's their 14th conceded in this game.
Not back. Number 19, roll out.
Avon Lewis debuted for Taranaki back in 2012 against King Country.
Well, that really is amazing, guys, isn't it? 14 penalties and you're winning 27-10. You would hazard a guess if that had happened in any other game, they'd be down. So they're doing a very good job, Taranaki. They really have come in and robbed a couple of tries, haven't they?
Well, that too, and if you broke down those penalties even further, there'd be a number of them that were actually offensive penalties, given against when they were hot on attack and given against them when they were well inside the red zone. Reece Marshall with the throw. Big throw too. Blake Thompson comes down with the ball. 17 points adrift. Taranaki with 7 minutes left. Bernie Hall has this at the back as they try to drive this Tasman side back over their own line. The drive is good. Tasman, and from Taranaki. That's a try. Kane McBride was on the other side. A TMO may well review and give this try.
Yeah, he was not standing on the wrong side, and no criticism of him. That's where the play started. But clearly the ball was hit the deck, didn't it? From our vision point anyway.
Certainly looked that way.
Yeah.
Taranaki looked pretty confident. Adrian Worrell, I think, is the man who had the final say. And have a look. There's the ball. There's the force. There's the try for Taranaki.
Yeah. For the try.
Confirmation from TMO Rob Lord. His life in this party yet.
Well, they're very good in this area of the game, Taranaki. They haven't had many chances tonight. Bernie Hall, the replacement open side flanker, he initially starts at the back. It stagnates initially, and then they just keep the punch going. You see the leg drive in the front there, because it's all about the guys in front of the ball and the work that they're doing. A little bit of a help there from a couple of backs as well. And there the ball gets down. Very nice.
Well, I think that is Bernie Hall, who never let that ball go, who will be awarded that try, and the conversion is good. Taranaki trailing by 10.
Well, that was great body height, wasn't it? Their body position was fantastic. They set it up really well, and they did deserve their try. Well taken by the Taranaki forwards.
Adrian Worrell, who lent his support to that drive. We think it was Bernie Hall who got the ball down. Trent Renata.
He doesn't like to give them up in those positions, normally.
I think Worrell, should I say, was on the other side of the field. Now is a ropey pass, and Tasman again will swoop. Lolohea caught one short. Did they get that down? The ball is out. We know that much.
So you happy to award it? Okay.
And the try is scored. Kieran Fonatia puts the game beyond doubt.
Number 12, was it?
Well, you see the celebration there from the Tasman players. They are very happy.
This is the biggest win for Tasman over Taranaki.
Just robbed another one.
Number 12, sub.
Well, you've got to keep your guard up with these Tasman guys. They know how to score them when you're unexpecting it. It just was loose here, though, from Taranaki. Always dangerous from inside your half. And, oh, they just were pulled up short here. And then the support crew came, and Fonatia, he just slid round the side, the old pick and go. Look at this. Oh, fantastic. He saw the gap and he took it.
Well, it was good pressure on D too. They certainly chased the kick-off well. And then the big pass, which didn't go to hand. The ball bounced up. Lolohea, who's been strong with ball in hand tonight. He's been outstanding, really. And another real opportunistic try from Tasman. Made out of nothing, really.
Well, Lolohea, I'd like to see his stats, because he's bumped a few off, and of the 17 tackles Taranaki has missed, there's been quite a few on him.
He's been good tonight. Viliami Lolohea, 4 tries for the Marcos. All 4 of them in the second half. They have crushed Taranaki in the last 40 minutes. David Havili, and can't keep his perfect record alive. They're streaming out of Yarrow Stadium, the Taranaki faithful.
Well, Havili, after that kick, he's coming off. Alex Nankerville has gone on for him, so change there for Tasman. This guy, good footballer, can kick a goal as well.
Oh, yeah. Alex Nankerville, as we mentioned, was part of the Tasman side at the Chocobs Memorial Under-19 tournament last week in Taupo, and looked very good. 32-17.
Stop 19.
Ball goes in. Avon Lewis thought about the quick throw, now takes it. But that one is forward. And in fairness, Kane McBride was right in line.
Well, another change here, boys.
Number 9 sub.
Number 9, here we hear it. Jamie Cowan, after his fantastic drop goal. Tough game for him tonight. James Lash coming on for him in 21.
James Lash, another, like Marty Banks, who's had some time at Buller. Correct me if I'm wrong. Brother Mike Lash, of course, the referee. Last round of the premiership. Tasman now will leapfrog both Taranaki and Auckland. Taranaki will finish 4th. They will play Canterbury in the semi-final on Saturday. The only question remaining is who will host the semi-final between Auckland and Tasman. Tasman will be 2 points clear. Auckland, if they score 4 tries and lose the game and get a bonus point, will still host the semi-final based on who beats who. But they can just win the game and put it beyond doubt. Everyone in Nelson will be cheering for Counties Manukau.
Yeah, well, they started slowly, but they've come on a little bit stronger, haven't they, as the season's worn on, for sure.
Well, they dusted Tasman up, that's for sure. There's the brass band. Great to have them at Yarrow Stadium. I still love the guy with the tuba. I just don't know at what stage in your life you wake up and think, I want to play the tuba.
Well, it hasn't come to me yet, I'll be honest.
No, not a tuba man.
Not a tuba player.
Not at this stage, no.
I can see you practicing away on that, Bull.
I prefer to play the world's smallest violin.
Tight head. Head and shoulders below your hips. Tight head.
Taranaki concede another scrum penalty as the clock ticks down. Trent Renata decides, let's just wind this down, fellas. Our job is done tonight. They will leave Yarrow Stadium with the 5 points they were so desperate to get. And their first win in 4 matches. Tasman have given the defending champions a dish best served cold this evening.
Well, it's been an outstanding 25 minutes of the second half, because they started very slowly in the second half, Tasman, with a lot of mistakes, but they've just grown in momentum and steadied the ship, and it's been a very comprehensive performance from them.
Trent Renata forced back into the kicking role. David Havili has left the building. This will pretty much do it for the game. Renata looking for 3 more, and he gets it, Trent Renata. Kane McBride says still time to go. Renata is no good at all. Now the concern for Tasman will be who's going to play first 5 next week. Marty Banks, Trent Renata, both injured, as full-time sounds at Yarrow Stadium. A big victory tonight away from home for a Tasman team that was desperate to get back on track. They have done it tonight, 35-17.